Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tiger Tank 12, however you call me, I don't really care. And welcome back to World of Tanks Weekly, where we cover the news that have happened in the last week. And obviously this week it is the same, 1.1 nil has just rolled out. And it's all about this patch, and we're going to be taking a look at two things. First and foremost, we're going to take a look at the equipment, and then if we still have enough time, we're going to be taking a look at some of the changes on the vehicles. And we're going to start with the equipment right now. So equipment 2.0 or 2.0 is in the game now, and to be fair, I didn't expect them to add this quickly. I think it was a couple of months ago that they announced it, and now they've already followed through with it. Maybe it's a bit too early, but playing a game with all this stuff in the live server will probably show us if it is too early or too late. So the reasons why they've added the new equipment is because there was no variety. Most of the stuff that you had was basically just gun rammer, ventilation, gun lane drive, and camo net, or maybe the view range stuff, binoculars, and what was the other one called? Let's just check real fast. And coated optics, exactly, because those were the most useful, and that's the reason why they wanted to implement that. And most people were just using like enhanced suspension, just gun rammers and all that kind of stuff. And other things were not used as often. Then we had the problems with different tiers. The price was still the same for the equipment, so you still paid 500k for a tier 4 or tier 3 tank. That meaning that most people did not put any kind of equipment on the lower tier tanks, because obviously, why would you put something on a tank that costs you 500k when you're going to be playing the next tank in maybe a couple of games, and it just costs you like either 10 gold or the mounting kit to get it on the other vehicle, and so it wasn't really worth it for you. Then obviously they wanted to improve other characteristics as well, not just firepower, because basically everything was firepower and view range. And now they wanted to improve on survivability and scouting as well. So I think I obviously can understand where they're coming from. To be fair, back in the days when they announced that they wanted to implement new equipment, I never really thought about it because I was so institutionalized with the gun rammer, ventilation, gun lane drive, what was the other one called? I forget the name. Vertical stabilizer and all that kind of stuff. So why would you need anything else if you had that? But obviously, I think it's going to give you the opportunity to make your tank more individual to your playstyle, and that's kind of quite interesting for me. So these are the new equipments that you can pick and choose and put on your vehicles. First and foremost, on firepower, we have improved aiming, which gives you a decrease of the aiming circle size, so that's pretty damn good. Improved rotation mechanics, which will improve the turret rotation speed. Survivability, we have improved hardening, which gives you more HP and a lot of other stuff, as you can see right here. Suspension durability, hull damage caused by suspension damage during impact, so like ramming in a E50M, imagine that, minus 65%. Imagine that, ramming something and you only take like 35% of the damage that he takes. That's got to be massive. So yeah, that's going to be something that might be fitted on the mouse, the T95. Same with the modified configuration, which allows you to actually have like a better survivability if you get ammo wrecked. Like, for example, somebody ammo wrecks you and you have this equipment on your tank, you don't get ammo wrecked, because once per game you can get ammo wrecked and it will prevent that. So that's pretty damn neat. Something that I would put on my T110E4, for example. Now, mobility-wise, we have two new equipments right here. The improved rotation mechanism isn't just for the turret; it's also for the hull and turret traverse. Okay, and decreases the dispersion on the vehicle. So potentially something for the French light tanks. Turbocharger gives you you know, more horsepower, so you're going to be faster. Scouting obviously is going to be quite interesting because you have low noise exhaust system, which will allow you to get more camouflage values out of your light tank. Improved radio set will allow you to spot vehicles longer, plus 2 seconds. I'm not sure if this is going to be worth it though. Commander's Vision will allow you to spot vehicles better because it decreases the value, the camo value that the enemy has, and it decreases the concealment of foliage. So yeah, that's something that's going to be super interesting once we're going to be playing this game, because all of a sudden somebody is going to spot you in that one bush that you have never been spotted before because they have enough view range and this Commander's Vision system, which previously was not in the game. So we have to get like used to those new equipment types, and we might just need to maybe have a little bit of a different outset on certain situations depending on what kind of tank we're running. So that's very interesting. You know, a lot of people don't like change. This might be a change that a lot of people will not like, but it might just make the game more dynamic, more fluid. We're gonna see, right? Maybe I hate it, absolutely. I've only tested it on the test server, and on the test server it was not really that prevalent because I wasn't really paying that much attention. But on the live server, if we have to play with it, we'll have to figure it out. So I'm probably going to be testing some things on my light tanks, and maybe I'm going to make a video about it. Who knows? Moving on, there are going to be certain like special categories for each tank type, starting from tier 6 to tier 10. Like the heavy tanks get survivability, the first slot, and it's only the first slot, right? Not the second and third. So you put in survivability on a mouse, you get the 300 additional HP instead of like the, I don't know, 280 HP or 250 HP that you get because it's like 10%. And yeah, the bond equipment obviously is still going to give you a better bonus because it's the bond equipment. And if you put it in the first slot, it's going to give you 13.5 instead of the 12.5. So they did this also to unify like the equipment. So there are going to be different classes, class 3, class 2, class 1. So tier 2 to tier 4 and some tier 5 tanks are going to have like equipment that will cost you 50k. Moving on from tier 5 to tier 7, and some tier 8s will have 300k equipment costs for one equipment or piece of equipment. 600k for tier 8 to tier 10, and you can see it is actually increased by 100k. Yeah, that is going to be a bit difficult right there. And also, camouflage net will only cost you 100k instead of the 500k that you had to pay previously. It's going to be even less for tier 2 to tier 4. Yeah, and there are going to be some specific changes or equipment that you can only put on certain tanks or certain tiers. This is all the spawn liners. The light spawn liners are from tier 5 to tier 10s on light tanks, like tank destroyers, SPGs, and mediums will be on the medium spawn liner will be on tier 5 to tier 7 heavy tanks. On medium tanks from tier 5 to tier 10 and medium tank destroyers. I have no idea what a medium tank destroyer is, but we'll have to see. Maybe the Jagdpanzer, what was it called? The Jagdpanther 2 might be a medium tank destroyer, in my opinion. Heavy spawn liner, obviously for heavy tanks from tier 8 to tier 10, and on tank destroyers that weigh less than 75 tons, and everything above 75 tons will get the super heavy spawn liner. So that's all the big boys, the fatties, that will get like the super heavy spawn liner, as we already know. So moving on, the conversion, yeah, all that kind of stuff, it's not too interesting. They are actually going to be, you know, putting some of the equipment that exists and is no longer in the game into new equipment, and you can see the cyclone filter, the fill tanks with CO2, the toolbox, which I do not understand what they have done with that. The wet ammo rack, they have been, this is the modified configuration. Let me see what that is. It's the modified, is that just that it was modified, or, oh, it's the modified configuration right there. Okay, that's the new thing. So wait, the toolbox is out. So I can no longer put a toolbox on certain tanks if I don't have anything to put on. So that kind of is a bummer, in my opinion. But, you know, we get everything for a toolbox. I don't know how many toolboxes I have. I'll have to check later on. So moving on, how do you get that stuff off your tank? Well, you're gonna have demounting kits that you can get by doing missions that you can just unlock by playing the game. But you can also buy them once per your account, like 50 demount kits you can buy once. You can buy 25 for once for 1 million. And yeah, the prices are rather steep, but still beats selling or buying new equipment for every tank. Or you just have 10 gold lying around and you pay that 10 gold fine and you can get that stuff off. So all in all, a topic that looked quite difficult to understand at the beginning with all the different equipment type, how they're going to balance it. It looks quite interesting, and I think it's going to be doing something good for the game because it just keeps on innovating and changing the way we play this game. So it always keeps it fresh. And I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to hear what you guys think of it. And yeah, we're going to see it soon. So moving on, we're going to be talking about not Pearl River right here. We're going to be talking about some of the changes that are coming to the vehicles. So what they have actually gone through with is that they have nerfed the Object 430 and the Object 430U. They have nerfed the Progetto M4065 and the Prototype Standard B. Two vehicles that I cannot understand why they nerfed them, but yeah, that's how it goes. They actually buffed the IS-4, the T110E5, and the E100. They buffed some of the other Soviet heavy tanks and the M103 and the T-32. All those things we'll be seeing in battle. I'm not going to be talking about the different statistics or stuff. We might just talk real fast about what they changed on the E100 and the E5 because they have actually written that down. So the E5 will have better dispersion values and better DPM. And I'm not sure if they did anything with the armor. Not too sure. I think they changed something along the armor. But on the E100, they have increased the frontal turret armor, which is very important. The gun is better for close combat. So it does more damage, but has lower accuracy. That's kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure if that is a good thing. Better rate of fire. Okay, that might be a good thing. And the aim time was also decreased on the 15cm gun. So we're going to see what the E100 will be now in the game. Is it going to be playable? Is it going to be good again? And will it still be penned by heat shells all over the place? We will see that in the game. And I'd say that should cover this week's World of Tanks news. Nothing completely new, to be fair. But there was nothing really to talk about. Maybe I'll just do it in a 2-week kind of timeline because it doesn't make a lot of sense if you don't have any sources to go after to do it once per week. But we'll see, and I still hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next one.